Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be playing some Metroid Zero Mission. This game is a remake of the very first game, which was released originally in 1986. This remake was in 2004. Planet Zebes. I called this place home once in peaceful times, long before evil haunted the caverns below. Now I shall finally tell the tale of my first battle here, my so-called Zero Mission. Dropping the title already. So originally, the planet you are on was originally called Zebeth instead of Zebes. It became Zebes, I believe, in Super Metroid. Same thing with the Morph Ball. It was called the Morphing Ball. The Morph Ball was created due to technical limitations of not being able to animate Samus crawling. So they animate it instead, her going into a ball to go into small crevices. So it's kind of interesting what is birthed from technical limitations. If you're not familiar, this series is based heavily off of, well, I shouldn't say based, I should say inspired by the Alien series. Alien is a sci-fi horror film. It's a very, very good film. It's one of my favorite movies. Definitely great sci-fi. I've played some Alien Isolation, and that game was very, very good. I only recently played it. I believe that they are making a sequel to it soon, which is interesting because that game came out several years ago. But it's good because I loved that game. So, this game is quite short if you know what you're doing. You will go through it pretty quickly, and it's designed for that, and that's because the faster you go at this game, the more is revealed at the end, usually. So in the first game, if you beat the game under an hour, it was revealed that Samus was a woman. You would see her in a two-piece. If you take a little more time, you only get the helmet off, and if you take too long, you will still have the full suit on, as opposed to just the helmet or the full suit off. And they continue this throughout the other games in the series, which I think is pretty cool, because it inspires speedruns. It was one of the first games I speedran, which I am not good at speedrunning, I'll tell you right now, so you probably won't see that. That is a room we'll return to later. It's called Torian. So right now we're gonna make our way over here, and we're gonna go fight this guy here. Really just spam and you'll kill him, so he can be a little difficult, especially for this early on when you don't have any E-tanks, but it is what it is. Here soon we'll get missiles, which will make dealing with those enemies a lot easier, and they'll just be a regular enemy as opposed to, if you want to call it a mini-boss, you can call it a mini-boss. I wouldn't really consider it. It's, end of the day, it's just an enemy. The little spiky guys are called Zoomers. I think that's kind of funny. I like saying Zoomers. So now that we got the long beam, we can make our way through here. So this will be a pretty chill run through. I'm not really like trying to be like serious about like speedrunning or anything like that. I probably won't even get 100% if I'm being honest. It's just going to be a little run through the game. Also, what was quite annoying about the first one is you only had 30 HP to your name. We'll deal with that guy in a bit. Now we have our missile tanks. So, there's not really much you can do over here, because we can't really go through there right now. And that's okay, we'll make our way over here, and we'll fight another mini-boss. Again, if you want to call it a mini-boss. So, he's pretty simple, just aim for his eye when it opens up, and dodge him when he does that maneuver. Interesting thing is, you're actually on a time limit to defeat him, and he would return if you didn't kill him then and there. 3 missiles takes him down pretty easy though. And now we have the charge beam, which gives us a pseudo screw attack, which is pretty nifty. Or a more powerful blast from your arm cannon. So, I was reading something quite interesting recently, is that the arm cannon is typically more common within Japan. And that's because, if you think about it, Mega Man, he has an arm cannon, typically in more Western games. The gun is separate from them. And it's kind of interesting, isn't it? That's because a lot of people think of the weapon as being a extension of themselves. Check out all these different secrets you can find here. So you can just destroy it with missiles and it takes less time, but we're so low on missiles as of right now. So, I'm kind of being a little more conservative with my missile tanks. Check this out. So, in the top right corner, you can see if there is potentially a hidden item somewhere, if there's a circle within the map. Check it out, our first E-Tank. This will definitely make things a lot easier. And we're up to 15 missiles now, which is going to be great for us. Especially if we keep going into lava like that. You'll notice I will probably go into lava quite a bit. So we have our first map, which will make navigating a lot easier. Our next area will be Norfair. Norfair is extremely hot, and we'll have to soon upgrade our suit so we can deal with the hotness of Norfair. But that won't be till for a minute. And here's a save point if you need a save point. So, I'm interested, what is your favorite Metroid game? Do you like some of the 3D ones, like Metroid Prime? Are you a fan of the 2D ones? Personally, it's really hard for me to tell. I would say that this one is actually one of my favorites, though. I love this game. Going into these villas will help you find where you're going. So now, we can go through here. Find us another secret. Bombs will help you break through those types of weird looking square blocks. They will also help you jump. And sometimes you'll find weird secrets. You never know what you might find. So here, you have to bomb these to open up that door. Now, we can kill these little bug fellas with our bombs. All enemies in the room have been defeated. Sometimes that's what happens with those gray doors. You have to defeat so many enemies to open them up. But yeah, let me know what your favorite Metroid is. If I had to pick one, if you put a gun to my head, I would say it would still be a toss-up between this and Super Metroid. Not gonna lie, I loved Super Metroid. Super Metroid was the first game, the first Metroid game that I beat. I don't think anybody would end up saying Metroid 1, probably. If that is your favorite game, shout outs, dude. Shout out, seriously. That's a hard game. I don't know why I'm spamming that when I could just missile and they would just, like, immediately die, you know? Oh, looks like we are journeying off to Norfair now. Alright, let's head off. So, in the original game, there was absolutely no indication that you can come down here. And that's part of it with that game, is sometimes there is no indication as to where you should go. And that was part of the discovery aspect of it. It's the same thing with the original Zelda. I love the original Zelda. I love the original Zelda more than I love the original Metroid. And I think that's saying something. The original Zelda is difficult without a guide, however. The original Zelda is extremely difficult without a guide. I don't really need... If I were to play the original Zelda today, and I've beaten that game like 4 or 5 times. I love that game. It's fun. It's not my favorite Zelda, but it's up there. Don't really care too much for Zelda 2. One day I want to try to beat Zelda 2. But that is one of the most difficult Zelda games. Not the biggest fan of that game. I like how it changed up the formula, though. Oh. Tell me your thoughts on Zelda 2. Here we have our main antagonist of the series, Mother Brain. She's keeping a close eye on Samus. So, join me next time for when we explore Norfair. Have a good day.